Is a great experience to put on your resume once you actually go back to the UK and start actually looking for work. Most people who I know that are working here at the moment all came to China either as just after finishing their undergraduate study or having taken a year out travelling like I did. So everybody is all in the same boat. And most people come to China either because they're looking for teaching experience because they want to go on and do a PGCE or something along those lines, or because they actually do want to come and experience a different culture and learn another language. I think China is a really great way to gain confidence. I don't think there's ever been a time back in the UK where I've actually had to think on my feet as much as I do here. I teach classes of around 45 children 4 times a day, 5 days a week, and you're always having to think on your feet. You're always having to think of ways to entertain the children, get them to stay engaged in your lesson, and also you obviously have to make them perform well on their end of the year examinations, which actually play quite a big role in. We have to make and organise examinations for the children quite regularly, so it's also fantastic for your organisational skills. And there's no way better in the world to learn a new language and experience another culture than actually living in a different country. We had a brilliant opportunity at our school to actually learn Chinese. There is quite a big school that teaches Chinese rather to foreign students, called Rainbow Reading in Wuhan, and quite a lot of us took lessons there throughout the whole year that we've been here, really, and it's really quite reasonably priced. If I can remember correctly, I think it was maybe around £86 for around 3 months of teaching 2 hours a week, so it's really great, and people's level of Chinese are quite varied, really. I know there's one person, she's been here now for I think 4 years, and she's totally fluent in Chinese, and she's actually hoping to stay on in China for another year to try and learn written Chinese in the hope of working as a translator once she returns back to the States. So coming to China is also obviously great for learning the language, but also the culture. I don't think people really appreciate just how different Chinese culture can be until you actually get here. Things that people do in the UK that people would find absolutely disgusting, like spitting on the streets, children just using the pavement as a toilet. If anything like that happened in the UK, people would be disgusted, but here it's just completely common practice. So you become a lot more tolerant of different people's cultures and different people's ways of life. And I think that's a really good skill to take home with you as well. I think tolerance is quite important. Living in China as well is also a really great way to develop any of the skills that you have that you want to develop as a career in the future. So for example, for my undergraduate study, I studied management and finance, and obviously living in a country that produces more exports than anywhere else in the world, it's really fascinating for me. Last weekend I went on a trip to Guangzhou, which is where the majority of the exports are made. So for me, I found that to be really fascinating. I'm also going on in September to do a Masters in International Development, so living in China and experiencing the development aspect of the country has also been really beneficial to me, for something to put on my resume and something I can actually discuss with my future employers rather. I know that there are other people as well. A friend of mine, Natalie, she's really interested in environmental issues, and obviously with China being a massive polluter, that's a really a key interest of hers as well, and again it's something that she can take away with her when she does apply for jobs. I also have friends that did an undergraduate degree in things like IT, and they've managed to find really valuable work experience as well whilst they've been living in China. So the experiences that you gain don't have to be just limited to teaching experiences. If you want to gain experiences in other things, there's definitely a possibility to do so. The school as well are really keen in getting people involved in extra things outside of the school. For example, we took part in the National Tree Planting Day, which was really interesting. They basically got all of the foreign teachers in Wuhan to go out for the day to the countryside and plant trees. So that was really a really interesting experience, and they had all of the press there, and they were taking pictures and filming us all. I think that actually made that onto Chinese TV, so that was definitely a unique experience. Our school as well have also tried to get us to participate in local productions. There was one in Christmas where some government officials came to Wuhan, and we actually had to put on a performance for them and sing a song called Molikwa, which was again quite unique. So all in all, there is a lot of skills and a lot of experiences that can be gained from coming here, and they don't necessarily have to be limited to just teaching.